Hey, what's going on? This is Howard Bowens from Body by Bowens Personal Training Solution. All right, today we're going to talk a little bit about the hip hinge pattern, okay, how important it is. The hip hinge is a foundational movement that's kind of involved in a couple different things, all right? One thing is loading the hips and stabilizing the upper body through the hips and the lower body, okay? So if you think about a movement like a bent over row, where you need your back to stay nice and flat, you need your upper body to be supported while your torso comes down and it's linear, or it's parallel to the floor, right? So your hips are going to stabilize when you do it properly. You're going to want to bend the knees a little bit, so unlocking the knees, that allows your hips to move a little bit more, okay? Then, while keeping both feet flat on the ground, you're going to slide the hips backwards, all right? You should feel a good stretch in the hamstrings as your hips go back, right? Kind of separating the hips from the knees. Those glutes are going to spread out and give you room. If you've done this, okay, if you've practiced this and those glutes aren't too tight, you should be able to hinge quite a bit backwards. That's just going to bring your upper body down so it's parallel to the floor, and you're not going to have any pain or have any stress in that lower back. Instead, okay, bulk of the weight will kind of be through the hips, which is a lot better way for you to stabilize that upper body, okay? When we think about the hip hinge, we also want to think about movements that are explosive and powerful, okay? Really, any type of plyometric movement does involve some type of hip hinge, but specifically just, movements that you might know a little bit more. You have the deadlift, okay? Like a kettlebell swing, and maybe, like a power clean, all right? All these movements utilize this hinge pattern if you're doing it correctly, okay? If you think about the deadlift, right? Deadlift is not a back exercise. It's a total body exercise, but really you want the hips to be developing the force, right? You want those feet kind of pulling against the ground. You want the extension through the posterior chain, okay? And you want those hips to drive forward. Check out the next video, or check out the little demonstration of me kind of coaching through a hip hinge practice. All right, I like to tell people you want to get like 50 perfect hip hinges in a row before you really start to progress to movements where you're loading that.